if you look around in the world, you really feel appalled by the condition of human beings in the world. Not just the poverty or the pain or the sorrow, but when you look at how vicious we have become and what we are capable of doing under the influence of vices, then it is really worth thinking what has the world come to today. And Baba today gives the example of a person killing another person. And Baba says that, and if you think about it, it's such a big thing, a human killing another human is huge. And people are capable of killing and molesting and insulting and demeaning and just, even on the level of thought, we are capable of so much of criticism and how ill can you think about the other. And if you just think about it, it's a really bad state. And we do all of this thinking I'm right, and this ego that I'm right is driving everyone crazy. So Baba is today, bringing us to notice that what has happened to the world or the people of the world today. And then Baba is inspiring us today in the Murli to do a lot of seva. And there was this discussion yesterday I was having with a sister. She's in Gyan for quite some time now, and then she was talking about somebody who was not able to understand that she's not setting boundaries for herself, and then people are exploiting that person, but she's not able to set a boundary and she's not able to say no. And then she was saying that I always keep trying to tell her, and whenever we are on phone, I try to tell her that you need to set boundaries, you need to set boundaries. And then I asked her, how long have you been trying? So she said, it's been almost 10-12 years now. Every time we talk, I keep telling her that, you need to change your situation. You need to set some, boundary that, no, this cannot happen, or I will not take this silently. So I said, does it work? So 12 years you've been doing that. Does it work? So she said, no. So I said, don't you understand that change in behavior will not happen until there is a change in consciousness? And you need to make her, inspire her enough so that she understands Gyan. And although understanding Gyan or being on the path that Baba is showing is also an aspect of destiny, but if you have good wishes for somebody, then this is the only method to serve them. So, to motivate them to take the course and understand who you are and understand who you belong to, your quality, your dignity. And until you don't break the mold of body consciousness, so you cannot understand your dignity or your value. So when you think you are a woman, So, when you are in that body consciousness, then you think that the best contribution that you can do to society is cook good food, or, these days go to an office and do good work, or, raise a good raise a child well. But Baba says, yes, you do. You cook good food, no problem with that. Do good work, no problem with that. Raise children properly, no problem with that. But you're much more than that. And only when you realize that, then you will be able to free your mind, time, thought, everything, your resources that are getting wasted because you are in such limited consciousness. So you don't value your every second, every thought, you don't value your being, you don't value your vibration, you don't value these things because you think I'm just good for this much. But you are capable for much more. So these things, will only sink in when we start understanding who we really are. And when you are body conscious, it's very limited consciousness, and that consciousness limits you. It limits your sense of self, it limits your attitude, it limits your actions, it limits your thought process. You think in a very limited way when you are body conscious. So Baba says that if you want people to do better, so the people of the world are really performing dismally, and the kind of actions people are doing, that's, and even for the self, if you see, we were not, now we are on the path of purity, so we are trying to check and change. But earlier we didn't even know the difference between good and bad, sin and good karma. We didn't know all of this. So we were also doing the same things, saying I'm right. So Baba says it is very important that if you want to pull everyone out of body consciousness, or you want to pull people out of the trap of Maya, then you have to do seva. You have to give them the message so that they recognize God. And when they recognize God, when they recognize that Baba has come, and when they recognize Baba's teachings, then according to their destiny, they will take some of it and at least improve themselves. And it is only Baba who can change somebody. And every child sitting in this classroom is, everybody who is listening to this class right now, you exactly know that it is only Baba who could change you. Yes, there is so many people in the world have tried and failed changing you, have they not? But when Baba comes, he changes us. And that's why we need Baba, and every child in this world needs Baba, and they need to know Baba. They may not know that they need Baba. So, we have to do that much of seva so that they start realizing and the importance of, recognizing Baba and listening to Baba's Murli and understanding and taking power from Baba, taking knowledge from Baba. They start recognizing Baba and connecting with Baba. That's very important, and we have to do that seva. And Baba today says that for doing that seva, there are, so one thing is, we need to understand what is the truth, and until the consciousness changes, behavior cannot change. And Baba today says that this gyan that I give you, you have to imbibe it first. So, it's not like you listen and you just, from one ear you listen and from the other ear you just leave it. So, do you do that? How many children do that? Listen to Gyan from one ear and just let the Gyan go out from another ear. So there's this first category who listen to Gyan from one ear, and from the next second ear, you have 2 years, so you're making good use of both of them. So you listen from one ear and then let it go from the other ear. And then there are others, who do the next thing, they listen from one ear and they let it out from the mouth, but they don't imbibe it. So you listen and you speak it to somebody, you share it with somebody, but you don't imbibe it. But this Gyan is for imbibing. And how do you imbibe Gyan? So, this Gyan has to be churned enough. It has to be churned so much that it becomes part of your consciousness. So today Baba in the blessing also says that when you churn on every point of Gyan, then that point that Baba has given becomes your own point, it becomes your consciousness. So it's not Baba's Gyan. When you imbibe it, it becomes yours. And when you share that knowledge which you have imbibed, then it is very impactful. And I have seen the power of the sharing of the one who has imbibed something. So, and I have also seen the powerlessness of the sharing of the one who has not imbibed it. So, there are sometimes, you meet somebody, they share something about some dharana they have. Maybe, they exercise every day or they go for a walk every day. And then you meet two people who say the same thing, but then one day you meet one person, they are sharing that, and then you don't feel motivated to go and walk. But the second day you meet somebody and they share it with you and you feel motivated to do that. That's the power of, imbibing. And apparently you cannot figure out. So if somebody is sharing something, you feel, you can see the passion, you can see, how nicely they put it, how nicely they explain it to you. But you cannot see the dharana. But when you are inspired to do something because somebody has shared it with you, that's an aspect of them imbibing whatever they are sharing. And this is why Baba says that I am giving you the knowledge, I am giving you the virtues, the powers, but you have to churn on them enough. Do you churn on them enough so that you become an embodiment of them? So, do you know you are a soul, or are you a soul? So, when you come into action, are you soul conscious always? Or just intellectually you are a soul, but when you come into action, it doesn't look like it? So, are you soul conscious only in letter or in spirit also? So Baba says that this we have to do, and Baba says Baba has given us a very good image, very, very beautiful and soothing image of the one who imbibes Baba's teachings. And Baba says that if you churn on knowledge properly, and that knowledge becomes your own, and every treasure that Baba has given you, it becomes your own. That means you become an embodiment of knowledge, an embodiment of purity or love or tolerance. Then what will be your state like? Your state will be like that of Vishnu, which you have seen in the images. And where does Vishnu sleep? On the snake. So, so Maya, which is symbolized by the snake, will never be able to trouble you. In fact, Maya will become your servant. And then there is this beautiful aspect of, being very carefree. So, have you seen that image of Vishnu? He looks really carefree. And Baba says that you will also be free from worries and be in an absolute carefree place if you become an embodiment of knowledge and virtues and powers that I give you. And Baba says that when you imbibe and then you share with everybody, then they will also be able to lift their consciousness and see what they are not able to see now, and then choose to not do what they are doing today and be better. But in this whole thing, Baba also gives us many directions about how to do seva. And I will discuss some of the directions that Baba gives. So, Baba today says that you should be very polite when you do seva. So, Baba says you shouldn't say tu. So, in Hindi so in English there is only you, there is no tu or aap, but in Hindi there is aap, which is a respectful word, and then there is tu and tum, which is not which doesn't sound respectful. So Baba says that refrain from using words that smell of disrespect. So whenever you are talking to somebody who is elderly or big in position, then always refer to them as aap. And that's a direction for seva, because the beginning of an argument is the feeling of disrespect. So when somebody feels that you look down on them, or you don't respect them, or you think very high of yourself and you think that the other person doesn't know anything, then they will not be open to receiving anything from you. And it is my personal experience that you cannot learn anything from someone you feel that where you feel they don't respect you. So when you feel that this person doesn't respect me, or this person dismisses me, or this person doesn't consider me as eligible, and this person doesn't consider me as worthy, then you cannot learn anything from that person, because your heart is close to that person. And in my journey, I have felt that respectful listening, when you listen with your heart open, that's a very big sign of respect. So listening patiently, listening with your heart open, that's a big sign of respect. And when you use words which are respectful, when you listen to somebody, then they will share, and when they feel they can share, then they also listen to you. And if they listen to you, only then can you share Gyan with them. So this is very important for seva, and you must send this message verbally, non-verbally, that I respect you. This is very important for seva, and until and unless you do respect, you cannot send this message. So it cannot be a lie. So this is there. Then second thing Baba says is, you have to have a balance of authority and respect. So you respect, but there is a thin line between losing your authority and allowing somebody to take over and being respectful. So sometimes, when you don't know that line, then you have lost your authority. But Baba says, no, you are the ones who are learning from the Supreme Teacher. So obviously, it is your duty to share the truth with somebody, and the truth has to be spoken with authority. But that authority has to be balanced with respect. So there are two things which we have to keep in mind: authority and respect. So don't lose your authority also. Sometimes, you have to allow the other person to share and speak, but you also have to make sure that they get your point. It's not like they only keep speaking and you don't make your point, but let it be respectful so that they listen to you. So this is something. Then second thing Baba says is, don't be arrogant. Yes, and arrogance is this sense of inner sense when you feel you are right. So there is a difference between right and truth. So truth comes from God. I am right comes from arrogance. So where there is truth, there is Baba's remembrance, and there is this thing that you're detached from the truth, so that truth has that vibration of Baba in it. So when you speak the truth, you speak it in remembrance of Baba, because the truth comes from Baba, so you cannot take ownership of the truth. And when that other person also listens to the truth, they know that they are speaking something which is not coming from a place of arrogance. But when you are speaking something which is coming from a place of arrogance, then this vibration reaches out to the other that I am right and you are wrong. And then there can be no communication, because arrogance and communication don't go together. So this is something. Then third thing or fourth thing Baba says is, be very cheerful. So have a cheerful face, because you are giving the introduction of the ocean of happiness. And if you do that in a sad way, then nobody is going to believe that you're talking about the ocean of happiness, or you're talking about knowledge that is going to make the world Sukh Dham, so, or a world of happiness. So Baba says that cheerfulness should also show when you're giving Baba's introduction. And then Baba gives us a very good yukti for seva. Baba says that whenever it is, whenever there is an occasion, a festival, or the birth of deities they celebrate, like Shiv Jayanti, Janmashtami. So they celebrate the birth of deities, or they celebrate festivals in the world. On those days, you explain the truth about these festivals. So in Baba's Yagya, we have a system where we conduct classes on the spiritual significance of the festival whenever it is the festival. Yes, so on Shiv Jayanti also we organize big programs and give Baba's introduction. And I have seen that, when you do this seva, which is in sync with the vibration of the world, then the fruit is much better. So I have always tried to, begin the course some 3-4 days before Shiv Jayanti, and then on the day of Shiv Jayanti, I make sure we come to Baba's introduction. So, in the course also, when you come give Baba's introduction on Shiv Jayanti, then those souls get it. And Baba says that because, anyways, the buddhi is a little oriented towards Shiv Baba, and then when you give Baba's introduction, it is very important to give Baba's full introduction. Not just that he is Shiv Baba and he lives in Paramdham or he is a point of light, but he comes into the body of Brahma Baba, and his purpose is to change humans into deities, and he becomes a father, teacher, Satguru, and teaches us in order to change us from humans to deities. So I think, it's very important that we tell everybody that Shiv Baba has come and he is speaking the Murli, and they understand that this is Shiv Baba's Murli, and this Murli is the mind of Shiv Baba, and Shiv Baba is giving his knowledge through the Murli. So that message has to go to everybody so that they understand how to connect with Shiv Baba. Because sometimes and I don't know, but I have a very I think about this a lot, that these days, somewhere people are just thinking that God is a point of light in the soul world, and you just keep connecting with that point of light, and God is no more than a bulb light or a laser light these days. And then you keep connecting with that point of light and you are receiving rays and this and that. But Baba is not a bulb light or a laser light. He is your father, teacher, Satguru, and he has come and he gives us the sustenance, and he calls us Meethe Bacche, and he is giving us directions about everything, and he is giving us Yaad Pyar and blessings, and that is God, and that is the connection that everybody needs to have with God. So we have to give this introduction of Shiv Baba to everybody. And Baba says, you make sure that you make everybody understand that God has come and He's playing His part. And then Baba says, when it is Deepmala, when it is Deepavali, you tell everybody that it's not about the outer light. So these days, have you seen that we have too much light, these days there are so many kinds of bulbs and these fancy lights and this and that, and it doesn't even get dark these days. So at least in Delhi, you cannot differentiate between day and night. So the nights are also as shiny as the day. But Baba says that it's not about those physical lights, because if Sri Lakshmi or Satyug had a connection with physical lights, then every day should be Deepavali now. But it's about the light of the soul, and because the light of the soul is not ignited, that is why happiness, peace, prosperity is not entering our doors. So which light do we have to ignite? It's not the physical light, because too much of physical light is there anyway. So Baba says, and also tell them the importance of the moths coming and dying over the flame, because have you seen that during Deepavali there are these green moths they come and just burn themselves in the flame. So Baba says that that happens during Deepavali, and this is what you have to do. So Baba is the flame, and he has come, and then we come and burn ourselves or surrender ourselves to Baba. That's the significance of Deepavali. So only when you surrender to God will the light of the soul ignite. So until you surrender to God, so when the I is there, then you cannot become I the soul. When the body conscious I is there, you cannot become the soul conscious I the soul. So you have to surrender to Baba. And then Baba says on Dashera, you explain to everybody that every year you are burning Ravan, but Ravan only gets bigger and bigger. Yes, and so Baba says that now Ravan is not somebody who is growing in size. So Ravan is just getting older and more powerful. And in order to show that, they are showing Ravan as, somebody who is growing in physical size. But Baba says you explain that on Dashera. So what is Ravan? So Ravan is not a human. Ravan is a symbol of the vices. And then Ravan is only increasing in power and getting older and getting, more powerful. That you have to explain to everybody. So Baba says that use these occasions to explain to everybody. And then Baba says that in order to bring about awareness in everybody, you could also use the method of, writing a petition or memorandum and circulating it and making everybody sign. And then we can show it to the government that so many people agree that God has come in the body of Brahma Baba and he is creating a new world, and that we need to listen to him and follow his instructions and become eligible for the new world. So Baba says you can use this method also. And then Baba says another thing which is very important. Baba says keep women on the forefront. And Baba initiated this system because it's very important that women, so Matai, the mothers are kept in the forefront. And Baba says this is very important for Seva because anyways, when women are on the forefront, then there's much less resistance. So otherwise there'll be a lot of resistance to the new Gyan. But when mothers, they have love in their heart and they have tolerant attitude, and when they speak or share the Gyan, then it is much more palatable to everybody. And then today in the Murli, Baba says that be wary of two things. So every child must, and if you want the whole world to know that Baba has come, we really have to be very interested in Seva. And we have to spend at least 8 hours a day doing Seva. But Baba says that what happens which makes children go slack and children lose that, that zeal and enthusiasm for Seva. So Baba gives a caution against two things. One is arrogance and second thing is familiarity. So Baba says when children get caught up in familiarity, what is familiarity? Familiarity is getting attached to a bodily being. So when you get caught up in somebody's name and form, so that is familiarity. And what is the sign of familiarity is that you will spend extra time, extra thoughts, extra resources on the one you have familiarity with. Yes, and yesterday Baba clarified that for a tapasvi, There is one Baba and none other, and you don't have extra leaning over anybody. But where there is familiarity, there will be this extra, and then you will have no time for seva. So don't get caught up in familiarity, and then don't get arrogant. So when do you stop doing seva? When you think I am the one doing everything. So, and when you have this sense of I am doing, then you stop doing. So, in the world also, we say pride hath a fall. And you must understand and have gratitude that you are fortunate enough that Baba has chosen you, given you an opportunity to do seva. So, never develop this consciousness that I am doing seva. And from my own experience, I know that Baba can make a dumb person speak and can do seva through them also. Baba can make his seva happen through anyone, anytime. And you will be shocked at how he can do his seva through this one and that one. But that's Baba's seva, and it never stops. Baba's yajna is never, it doesn't wait for anybody. So this is Baba's yajna, and it is destined to grow, and all seva will happen. So never think that I am doing the seva, because even if you're not there, seva will just multiply. But if you are not there, then you will not earn the punya karma of seva. So just know that, have a lot of gratitude that Baba has given you this opportunity. Baba has chosen me to be an instrument to use my body, mind and wealth. And with that gratitude and humility, do seva. And the moment you start thinking, I am the one doing it, I am the one who is important, then what happens is you lose that magic that Baba has filled you with, and that magic will go away. And when that magic goes away, then you cannot do seva. Any seva, even you will have hurdles about everything. Doing any seva, you will face hurdles, and then your fortune will be compromised. So these are the directions about seva that Baba is giving today. Okay, Om Shanti.